Most people approach algo trading on prop firms backwards, and today I walk you through my process. If you want to trade prop firm challenges with robots, watch this entire video because at the very end I will share with you the exact setup I'm currently running on a challenge account. At the Academy we constantly get emails from traders asking what is the best robot for prop firms. They expect a simple answer, but it's not that simple. The biggest mistake is picking the robots first, then trying to force them into prop firm rules. I've analyzed hundreds of prop firms, and what I discovered will change how you think about robot trading. Now let's look at what really matters in prop firm rules. So here's my research spreadsheet, which I created after analyzing hundreds of prop firms and selected some of those. I avoid the company names because that's not important here. It's about the rule patterns, not the specific firms. I grouped them into key categories. Daily loss limits, overall loss limits, and profit targets differ significantly, but here's what's crucial, guys. Rules are constantly evolving. The consistency rule is a perfect example. It's now spreading across more and more prop firms, requiring traders to show balanced profit distribution, not just one lucky big win. This kills many robot strategies that aren't designed for it. But now let me show you how I apply this rules first approach. I choose the Holo Prime 2-step pro challenge for this demonstration because their rules actually work with robot trading, not against it. Look at these features. EAs are explicitly allowed with customization requirements, 1-hour payouts, and risk alert that warn before breaches. In addition to the less restrictive policy when it comes to trading expert advisors and the first company to offer payouts in 1 hour, Holo Prime has something else which I really like and I wanted to show you. And if I go to the pro challenge here, and if I scroll down, you can see here that I can pick, for example, the 2-step pro challenge, 200k, MetaTrader 5, and actually I can change the payout request frequency. So if I pick the weekly payout, this would be 65% profit split. But if I go to the monthly, this will be 95 profit split. I will put the link to the Holo Prime website in the description, and also you can check it on our website where are the prop firms that we are using at the moment. We have a special discount for our users. If you use code Algo10, you can get 10% off from their plans. This complexity is the main reason I use the prop firm robots app more and more in challenges. Let me switch to the Academy website now, and if I go to software prop firm robots, here you can find the prop firm robots app landing page. And if I click on this button, here's the prop firm robots app. Before I walk you through the entire interface of the app, which is pretty interesting, I want to show you something and explain something in advance. I will share with you these two links, the prop firm robots app guide and the top 10 robots app guide. And they are very important if you want to learn the whole story about the prop firm robots app, how it was created and what's happening under the hood. So here we have explanation about the concept, the strategy generation process, and from this process you can learn how the strategy were initially created, what were the parameters. Then they went through acceptance criteria, for example, like we're looking for strategies which are active and have a minimum count of trades of 200 for the whole period. We are also looking for strategies with strong R-squared to balance line stability. Then the strategies go through Monte Carlo, and basically this means that we are trying to break them prior to even testing them virtually, as you can see here. And after this is done, the strategies go through several validations with historical data from different brokers. This is also explained here as well in this other guide. So at the end, we are left with this up here where you have strategies which are tested and validated with historical data from several big brokers. There are plenty of settings here and I will explain them now. First, we have the challenge row from where we can define the initial balance of the challenge, also the max loss, the daily loss, and the profit target. So because I'm going to trade on the Holo Prime 200k 2-step challenge, let me go through the plans, pro challenge, and let me see the rules once again. I'll scroll down to the 2-step pro and to the 200k challenge, and I'm going to trade MetaTrader 5. It's not important at the moment. So max daily loss is 5%, max overall loss is 8%, and profit target is 8% for the first stage and 5% for the second stage. Initial account balance is 200k. So in the app, I will just set the initial account balance to 200k. Now we have the max loss, which was 8%. So I'll set that to 8%, and the max daily loss was 5%. So from the drop down, I can pick 5%, and my profit target would be 8%. If I don't have the options here available in the drop down, I would use the custom challenge from where I can define a custom account size, for example, 125k, let's say, just for example, and the profit target could be something different like 9%, the max loss could be something different, and if I click accept, that would be the settings that would be applied on the charts on the robots. But I have the settings already, so I'll just reset this setting here. Next is the robot row where we can customize some of the settings of the robot. So for example, we have the risk here, which can be low, medium, or high. Low means 0.5% per trade per robot, medium means 1% risk per trade, and high means 2% per trade. So for example, you can see at the moment with 1% risk on a 200k account, this is almost $2,000 stop loss. But if I set this to 0.5%, which is the low risk, you can see how the numbers are recalculated almost immediately. Next, we have the randomization setting, and what it does basically, it allows us to randomize some of the properties of the strategy: stop loss, take profit, indicator values, and the magic number as well. And as I mentioned earlier, this is very important for prop firms, because if you go to the rules, for example, of Hollow Prime, you can see that they allow usage of expert advisors, but every trader should employ their own settings. So basically, you need to customize the settings to differentiate the trades from others. And to be honest, I didn't like this feature for a long time, but recently I started to think from the company perspective on, for example, if you have the liquidity provider under the hood, which don't want users to make the same trades and profit from those, it makes complete sense for the prop firm to require users to have randomized trades. Otherwise, group of traders can move the market in unpredicted direction. So let me go back to the prop firm robots app, and I will just enable the randomized stop loss. Actually, I will close this here so we can see the full interface. So I will randomize the stop loss. I will randomize the take profit as well with 10 pips. So it can be plus or minus 10 pips from the default settings. Also, I will randomize the indicator values. Here, I will just change that 1 to 10, let's say, for example. So the strategy isn't changed that much. And about the magic number, I will just keep the first digit same for the magic number. I'll talk about the magic number later in the video, but this is good for now, and I will click accept. From that moment, all the robots which I download from the app will use this randomization, which is enabled. You can see it highlighted here in blue. So for example, if I download the strategy once and then another time, you can see it has completely different magic numbers, and also the parameters will be slightly different. So no users will have the same strategy as you. Now the next setting is add to zip. We can pick the top 3 strategies from our sorting here and add them to a zip. Then we can easily download it for MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5. Or alternatively, I can go here and pick the strategies one by one, add them to the zip like this, for example, and then I can download the selected strategies. I'm not going to do it right now. I want to show you the other settings before I select the strategy. So next we have the sorting. By default, the strategies are sorted by profit, and the stats period will be all time. So this is for the whole time for which there is historical data for this strategy and time frame. But we can sort them by profit factor or trades. I can also sort by out of sample profit, trades, and duration, and this is where it gets really interesting. So what is the out of sample? We have it here on the right side. If I click here, I will enable the out of sample, and immediately I see some green highlights on most of the charts. What does it mean? Actually, this is the forward testing or testing against unseen historical data. So in simple words, if I switch to a smaller time frame like this, for example, we can see that the strategy was created 24 days ago. So this is when it was created, and then all the trades that happen after the creation date are unseen historical data. So this is the forward test. Before that, we have the back test, and then we have the forward test. And if I switch here to sort by out of sample profit, you can see the most profitable strategies with the highest out of sample. So this would be the strategies which were created longer and they are still profitable. At the first spot, we see this strategy for the dollar yen, which trades on the M5 time frame. It was created 60 days ago and added to the app 44 days ago, and I'm on the 1 month time frame. That's why all the stats here are forward test or out of sample data. If I switch to 1 year, this is the very same strategy here, and you can see when the out of sample started or the real forward testing actually. The stats period is another very useful feature of the app. I can switch between all time, 1 year, 1 month, or lower period, and I can see below the stats about each strategy are changing. So for example, here on the 1 month period, which means the last month of trading, you can see it started from the 13th of July and today is the 14th of July. So we have 1 month of trading or 30 days of trading, and the strategy generated over $6,000 profit for this period. And if I go to the 1 year period, you can see that for 1 year it generated $37,000 of a profit. Also the count of trades is changing and the drawdown. And you can see, for example, here with the lower period, the drawdown would be lower. And this is not an error, guys. This is not an issue. So the strategy is trade with fixed lots. You can see here the entry lots is 4.22. And this shows how the strategy would perform in reality because it trades with fixed entry lots. You can see 4.22. So no matter what is the period, the entry lot would be the same, but the balance will grow, respectively will grow the risk. So the drawdown will get bigger if we increase the period for which we're observing the strategy, but stop loss will be always the same. You can see it's always the same number. Again, because we are using fixed lot, but the balance grows over time. So the amount we're risking is getting bigger and bigger in terms of percentage drawdown, but the stop loss would be always the same. Now, since I'm here on the stats, let me talk about them. So this is the profit generated for the stats period which you're observing at the moment. So again, if I switch to 1 month, we can see first strategy generated over $6,000 of a profit, and the profit factor is 2.03. It made 12 trades for this period. The drawdown for this period is 126. The entry lot is 4.22, which is related to the risk. If I increase the risk, for example, you can see the lots are increasing, but I'm going to trade low risk on this account because I plan to place several robots, not just one. And the higher the number of the robots I'm trading, the higher is the risk exposure. So I want to lower that with the risk setting. Next, we have the drawdown. I already explained how it works, and also the stop loss. You can see it here. And then I can download the strategy for MetaTrader 4 or for MetaTrader 5. Or alternatively, what I can do, I can just add it to the zip and then download the zip file with all the strategies which I'm going to trade. So let me add that first strategy to the zip because I'm going to trade that one, and I will pick a few more strategies. What I will be looking for is strategies that trade on different assets because I don't want to overexpose myself to one currency pair. This is pretty easy with the Propform Robots app because there are strategies for different assets. Most of the Forex major pairs are here as well as the gold. So let me scroll down and I will actually pick the Euro-Dollar strategy. Maybe this one. I will see if there's another one in the app. This one was created 24 days ago and this one was created 60 days ago. So basically this strategy is fresher compared to this one, and I personally would expect the strategy to also continue performing well. So I will pick that one. Also, Euro-Dollar is not very volatile, which is one of the reasons I like trading it. The drawdown for that period is pretty low. You can see below 1%. Actually, if I scroll down to the app, I don't see many strategies. Oh, here we have another one with that lower drawdown, but this is just with 2 trades. So basically, the Euro-Dollar strategy is something which I like and I'm going to use. And let me see another strategy. Recently, gold was performing pretty well for the Propform Robots app, so I'll definitely pick some gold strategy from here. Let me see what do we have in the app. I'm looking for pretty state balance and equity lines going close to each other, like in this strategy, but I already added the dollar-yen strategy into my portfolio. So what I will do next, actually, I will add this strategy, which is pretty good. I expect this one to be active, so I will add it to my portfolio. And if I scroll to the top, you can see I have 3 strategies added, and I will just download them as zip and move them to my MetaTrader platform with HoloPrime. So here I'm on my trading machine and I will open the data folder and place the strategies there. So open data folder, MQL5, experts, advisors, and I will just paste the zip file which I copied here. Now let me extract that one and I will just get all the robots and move them directly to the advisors folder so I don't have this complex setup here, and I will remove the rest. Now first we need to compile the robots because what you get is the MQL source code. I can just click on this robot here and this will open in the meta editor and I can see and modify the code, but I don't need that right now, so I will just compile the strategy. So the strategies are compiled and I have the executable files here. I switch to the HoloPrime MetaTrader platform, go to the advisors folder and right click and refresh so the experts can be shown here. I have a robot for Euro-Dollar, for dollar-yen and also for gold-dollar. So let me add that missing charts. Now I will open the chart windows. The strategy is trade on the M5 chart, so I will just add M5 chart for every asset here like this. Then what I will do, I will just take the robots and drag and drop them to the chart. I'll do it like this. And you can see here the Propform robot, 200k account, low risk, Euro-Dollar, M5, and we have the magic number. And if I go to inputs, here are the properties of this robot. Now let me briefly walk you through the most important expert advisor properties. We have a very detailed video guide about the app and I will put a link in the description. Understanding these settings is crucial for Propform compliance. First we have the core trading parameters. The magic number uniquely identifies our ES trades. Entry amounts lots is our position size. Stop loss and take profit are our exit levels. The entry at daily protections is where it gets important for Propforms. Max spread is set to 0, means no restriction, but I will change this to 20 points to avoid trading during high volatility. The max open positions can be useful to prevent overexposure, but since I am trading only 3 robots on this account, I won't set that property. Max open lots controls the total volume across all trades. Maximum daily loss automatically closes all trades if we lose this amount amount in one day. This is configured within the PropForm Robots app and is calculated based on the PropForm daily loss rule. The value is a little bit below 10% because there is some space for spreads, commissions and swaps also. Daily reset hour 0 means it resets at midnight. This prevents us from breaching daily limits. If equity drops below the minimum equity value, the EA stops trading completely. The maximum equity is our target to reach. These numbers are also calculated based on the account size and the settings that we configured in the PropForm Robots app initially. The news filter setting help in avoiding volatility periods. We have a detailed guide about the PropForm Robots app here, where we explain how you can set the news filter. I'll share a link to this in the description below. You need to allow web request to this URL listed here because this is the URL of our news service, and in order for the EA to understand when there are high impact news, medium news as well, it needs to communicate to our news service. So you need to add this URL. I'll put the link down below in the description. So if news priority is set to high only, it prevents trading 2 minutes before and 5 minutes after high impact news. Although there aren't news trading restrictions in the whole Prime Pro challenge phases, I'll change that to 5 minutes before high news because if I pass the challenge, I will have to comply with this rule in the funded account anyways, so I want to be prepared. Next, we have some display settings which control the user interface that will be shown on the charts. Position stats and robot stats control the user interface that will be displayed on the charts. For example, we can show the strategy indicators which can be useful for understanding when trades are taken. So I went through all the settings here. We have some properties about the different indicators. They are different for each and every strategy, but you can see which are the indicators involved in the strategy, and of course you can change the values if you want. I'm not going to touch them. I'll just click on OK, and you can see the EA is placed on the chart. Something important to confirm that it is on the chart actually. I can see the daily loss protection as well, the min and max equity protections here. Also I can see some robust stats, but if I just zoom this chart here and I go to export properties again, let me show you something. I'll just show the indicators like this, and if I click on OK, you can see the indicators and how they are performing, and you can see easily then when they are open and closed trades. I'm going to disable them because I don't stay staring at the charts, but if this is important to you, you can enable them so you can see how the trades are happening. And now I will do the same for the other two strategies which I have already downloaded. And that's it. My strategies are placed on the charts. I have the protections enabled here. Also, I have Algo trading enabled. And importantly, under the tools options, I have enabled algorithmic trading. Also, I have allowed the web requests for the news URL, which I showed you earlier in the video. I have added the FXBoo publisher so I can share the stats with this account on our website then. So that was my complete process for approaching PropForm challenges with robots. Rules first, tools second. To help you apply this, I'm sharing my PropForm analysis spreadsheet and a coupon code about a limited time discount for the PropForm Robots app in the description below. If you want to trade PropForm challenges with robots the right way, try the PropForm Robots app. It's built for this methodology. Subscribe for more PropForm strategies and let me know in the comments what PropForm you are planning to tackle next. Thanks for watching.